And it's just clear to see now with this last situation we face is like the 258 management, Matchroom, done a great job of putting on a potential show that was ready, signed to go ahead during the pandemic, which was a nice offer, lucrative offer, where X amount of fans would have been able to go, ready to sign, ready to fight, no qualms on my ends, I'm ready. And they bailed out on not only me, but the boxing world. Because this is the first time in 120 years or so that two British fighters would have fought for the undisputed title. It was a legacy fight. And that's the only reason why it didn't happen, because they either wasn't organized on their side, Fury wasn't ready for the fight, I don't know what it is, but my truth, all I can say is that if you look at the history, the email trails, the conversations, we had the deal in place, we were the ones who found the venue, we were the ones who took the offer to them, and they were the ones who couldn't fulfill their end by just putting a signature on the contract.
So you don't believe in this legal thing that happened in America? You think that's just a smoke screen?
No, that's real, but that can't be an excuse as to why.
So you think he should have just ignored that and just gone on and took the fight
I think
anyway?
he should have made it clear from the get-go. That.
So you don't think he basically was transparent at the beginning about what was happening?
Yeah, it's not a problem. If I'm not ready to fight, I say, look, guys, look, I'm going to be real with you. I want the undisputed fight, but let me get past my mandatory challenger. Let me get past my rematch clause, and then I'm going to win. I'm going to do this for us, and I'm going to fight this undisputed fight. That's just honest. Rather than saying, I want the undisputed, he's dodging me, he's doing this, they don't want it. I'm giving them a deadline before they make this contract viable. If they don't get it to me in 24 hours, I'm not signing it. We get a contract in 23 hours. Well, we want this and that. We make sure we keep on plugging away, making sure that the deal is.
But why would they do that if they knew they couldn't take it? Why would they do that?
So this is where I can't understand, because we got it to the line where we just need to step over.
Yeah.
Which is the signing of the contract, signing of the agreement.
Do you not think he wants? You think he doesn't want this fight now?
I'm sure he's a fighter, isn't he? Yeah. He's not gonna. What's the worst that can happen? You get hit.
Yeah.
Those are the words of Anthony Joshua as he explains his frustration once again on Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and the obstacle that supposed to have been not, but was, okay? And Joshua revealed some truth behind the arbitration with Wilder, the desire for an undisputed fight with Fury, and the choices that were made with Team Fury, okay? And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. What Joshua said, that's what I've been telling people, okay? He hit the nail on the head, okay? Driven the nail in the board with this. Tyson Fury had a choice, people. Okay, it wasn't like Tyson Fury had to fight Deontay Wilder. He didn't have to. There's always consequences for doing this or doing that. He had to fight him. The WBC just wanted him to fight someone, and that was in August. The arbitrator said he had until September to fight Wilder. If not, he would have been put in court by the ruling of the arbitrator. That doesn't have anything to do with the WBC, as far as I know, okay? Unless Mauricio had some type of underhanded thing, but the last thing he said was the concern with Fury is defending the WBC mandatory, okay? So he had to fight someone, either it was a unification undisputed like he had in place for Joshua, or someone like Dillian White that is the guy to fight for the mandatory spot. Someone he had to fight. Now, as far as what Fury chose to do versus what he said he had to do, okay, that's the difference in that. And this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury left it, basically used it as a reason, or the overall reason, like, this is the alternative, this is the ultimatum, I need to do this. I need to fight Deontay Wilder. Like Joshua said, they drew a line in the sand. Okay, they drew a line in the sand. All he had to do was sign. Okay. Now, the thing that got me let's look at it like this. They gave Team Joshua like 24 hours. Don't that sound familiar? Remember Wilder did the same thing a couple years ago, a few years before that. You got 24 hours to make this right, or 48 hours, right, to make this right, or whatever. Are we stepping, or are we doing something else? Okay, so then when Tyson Fury found out the money was there from Prince Khalid, why didn't he sign the fucking contract then? He made a public announcement publicly that he was going to sign. The money was there. The money's in the bag. This fight's going to happen. But he said all that shit to everybody on the whole world on the WWW. But he didn't sign the contract. Very next day, Deontay Wilder wins the arbitration. Bob Arum informs Eddie Hearn that, hey, we won. This is what's going to happen. This is what we're doing. We have to fight Wilder by September. But understand, look at the action versus the talking. He spoke first, but didn't do the action first. See, he said, made this announcement that I'm fighting Anthony Joshua. This is that. Then he didn't sign the contract. Logic tells you would want to sign the contract before you make the announcement. Once Tyson Fury got off the phone with Prince Khalid people and showed him like, hey, this is what it is, the money's there, he should have signed that publicly that day. Do you see where the energy wasn't? Yeah, the energy was here, okay, from his words, but the actions weren't there, okay? The actions weren't there with Tyson Fury. So instead of him saying, hey guys, I'll let you guys know that I'm signing the contract right now. Here you go, and the signing on the dotted line. Here it is, signed, sealed, delivered. It's over, right? And fast forward to now, recent present, Bob Arum stated, well, hey, the arbitrator would have been, he would have ruled in a different way had Tyson Fury, or had they got the fight done quicker. But it was done before the arbitration ruling, right? Counterpunch. Okay, so there was no reason why Tyson Fury couldn't sign the contract publicly before he made an announcement saying that I'm going to fight this guy. He should have done the action and the work first, versus saying, hey guys, this is Gypsy King and I'm going to fight Anthony Joshua. I just got off the phone with Prince Khalid. If you got off the phone with Prince Khalid, you should have signed the contract, or you could have signed the contract publicly then. Then the arbitrator would have had something to work with. Well, no, he signed the contract to fight Anthony Joshua, whereas there was some discrepancy with the contract, apparently with Deontay Wilder. So we're going to fight him now and Wilder gets the winner or whatever, or you pay damages or whatnot, right? And that was the rumor that was going along because people thought the fight would be done quicker. But Tyson Fury, based on his actions, based on what he said, based on what he didn't add up. Okay? So the question you ask yourself is, when the fuck was Tyson Fury going to sign the contract to fight Anthony Joshua? A week, 3 days, 2 days, because logic has you had all the evidence you needed that the money that you're supposed to get paid, you were getting paid, and he didn't sign it. Okay, and back to what Joshua was saying is that's not an excuse. That's an excuse. That's not a reason why you took it upon yourself to not fight Wilder. Or like Joshua said also, if you weren't ready, you should have just said, hey, I may have this done. Tyson Fury, to his defense, he did say in an interview like, hey, I might be fighting Wilder next. But what was the updated information up to that interview? He was never going to fight Wilder. You guys remember that? So that wasn't even the case. And I'm spending millions of dollars to keep this fight from not happening because I won't fight Deontay Wilder because he said some bad things about my people. This can all be documented and looked up. We all know what happened with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder and how they fell out. But according to how they fell out, they always end up fighting or always end up back together now, don't they? Okay, so Anthony Joshua shows and really saying that, hey, there's no excuse for what he did. None. He could have chose to do the right thing. If you have business, right, with a current fighter that's a champion, based on everything that was at stake, based on more money than he's would have ever made in his career, based on the historical aspects of this fight, you know, over 100 years, they haven't had an undisputed champion. So that would have been another milestone. And based on who would be the better fighter in the world. There's a lot of things that he should have took that fight for versus not taking that fight for, to fight someone he already clobbered February 22nd. But let's look at this. Again, how fast was he to sign the contract with Deontay Wilder? No hesitation, none. He did that publicly, and I'm like, well, damn, why didn't you do that with Joshua? That's the first thing that popped in my mind. Okay, so at the end of the day, I think Tyson Fury chose to fight Deontay Wilder versus had to fight Deontay Wilder. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on this video. You guys tell me what you think of Anthony Joshua speaking on, once again, the Tyson Fury negotiations. But I will leave you with this, the counterpunch Anthony Joshua. He needs to worry more about Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury because he has a fight on his hands. But anyway, that's my take on it. Please subscribe, and you guys can counterpunch. Peace.